Hello everyone, this is a post commentary on Anamnesis Anyder, a visual guide. Now I don't usually do these, but I tried my best at recreating what I kind of did on my original. It didn't go so well because I forgot the actual commentary, but here it is, I suppose. So the first section is just going to be you beating up a series of ad waves. Just like it says there, I'm going to be muting this basically on clip adjustments. Mostly just me prancing around trying to explain stuff, but for the most part just kill ads. They're going to show up in hordes of waves and just do your best. Now throughout the video you're going to see a lot of blinding lights. I'm playing a white mage and that's typically when I run through new content. It's just white mage. Paladin is fantastic. Any kind of DPS with raid-wide utility like red mage or summoner. I like this dungeon because of the aesthetics and also the music. So again, fend off mob ads as they come. Eventually, here we go. This is the first cutscene, so I'm going to just remove the UI. This is something that I will do from now on, just so you guys can enjoy more of the cutscenes itself instead of actually having my UI in the way. So we got 2 ads incoming. So since I am playing White Mage, I have Holy. Holy stuns targets. So what I do here is I do dots, I do off globals, and then I toss my first Holy into the single target rotation, which is basically just glare. So Holy, glare, Holy, just to stun in between. These mobs do frontal cone cleaves that I can just stun through so the tank doesn't have to reposition. But eventually I run out of stuns, so you're going to get to see the actual cleave here. There it is. And another cutscene. And we get a very strange looking ad here. I'm not entirely too sure on the mechanics from this ad because we kill it very quickly. I'm running with item level 480 HQ crafted gear, rock hard for a simple circle telegraph that I obviously got hit there with. But it's minor damage. It doesn't do any debuffs on me, it's just flat damage. And of course if it doesn't kill me, it may as well be useless. The Torrential Torment, easily avoidable telegraph. And the final cutscene right before we actually start the dungeon. It's very cinematic. I love it. I'm loving this dungeon so far. So I'm going to run on down here. I'm going to look around, just kind of show you guys the ambience. And we're coming up against our first boss here. This is a very interesting boss for a very interesting dungeon. So Unknown A, I put it down as a boss rush, because this guy's going to spawn a copy of himself after a certain mechanic. So Fetid Fang is a tank buster. Right after this, he's going to reposition himself and use Scrutiny. Just like the description says, he's going to summon a copy of himself on the second use. So the thing about this mechanic is to just stand out of the way of his roulette arrow. Just like it did there. As long as that arrow doesn't hit you, the telegraph, you should be okay by taking those telegraphs, the circle telegraphs. They won't really kill you. Just don't combine them both. So what you saw there was a line AoE. That's avoidable. This one is inscrutability, so that's the AoE room-wide. He's summoned a spawn there, so make sure you do not get in the way of too many telegraphs for a stack mechanic. Now you're going to focus on the original. Burst him down, hence the boss rush. They're going to basically spam mechanics between each other. And they're also going to do a series of frontal and rear cleaves. And it's basically just a boss rush. Kill them fast before you get outrun by mechanics. So the copy should do a frontal cleave here. Clear out is the frontal, and then setback is the rear. I almost got hit by the frontal there. So now once one of the bosses die, the other will use plain weirdness, basically increasing their damage by, I believe, almost 3 times as much. You just want to rush him down. But be very careful because his damage is exceptional now. And you're going to see by his tank buster that he'll use later on. So Luminous Ray, that's the straight shot avoidable telegraph. Make sure you avoid that. Fetid Fang, we'll see how much damage he does. This is the tank buster beefed up. And that went through my shield as well. So that did quite a bit of damage. So a very interesting boss fight. Very interesting boss fight indeed. So I skipped out most of the trash pulls. There was really not much to explain on those. So this next boss is a Kyklops, I believe it's called. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. So the final verse, the room-wide AoE. As you've noticed, the ground is kind of in a strange fashion. I have the Cyclone. It's basically just getting to melee range to avoid damage. So we have Terrible Hammer. Notice the grounds, how there's 9 sections. You're going to avoid the hammer sections because they were first to be cast. So basically just stand on the sword. Now here I got hits, so I'm going to slow it down for you. The 2000 Mina swing hits in a melee cone, so stay at range. And don't forget the original mechanics, so avoid the hammer, and then go back to where the hammer was to avoid the sword. Raging Glower is basically a line AoE, you can avoid that. A 2000 Mina swipe is the frontal cleave. It hurts a lot. Another final verse, so another AoE room wide. Terrible Hammer again, just like the last. Make sure you avoid where the hammer is. So stand on the sword. Now if he does this nameless howl, he basically spawns circles on you. Make sure you do not stack those circles. So remember to stand where the hammers are not, and then jump into where the hammers were. I have the Cyclone, stay at melee. The final verse is technical mechanics that we've already gone through, but they get a bit challenging as the fight goes. Terrible Blade, so the opposite of Terrible Hammer, you're going to avoid the blade, stand on the hammer first. So do not stack the circles. Wait till the blade pops off and then stand on where the blade was to avoid the hammer. I have the Cyclone. I'm impressed the fact that he's not using the melee cleaves or the melee ones instead. So Raging Blower, avoid the line telegraph. But I would assume you want to stand where my little bubble expires to kind of avoid both the melee and the ranged versions of the Cyclones. So the final verse, AoE room wide. And that does it for this boss. So the thing about these ads is, if they're tethered to something, they look like long, thin light bulbs that you would use in like a grocery store. You want to kill those ads that are tethered to those light bulbs. Otherwise they're going to spawn more ads. And some of them are pretty big, beefy mobs. Like you're about to see there on the left side. They hurt quite a bit. But other than that, just kill as you're able to. So here's the final boss. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce their name, or his or her name. It's another turtle. Kukshs Dheem? Kukshs Dheem? Close enough. So right off the bat with a Bone Breaker, Tank Buster. He's going to do this about 7 seconds in. He's going to jump off and do his room-wide AoE, the Seabed Ceremony, and it is also going to spawn a kind of like a line water pit. Do not want to find out whether it damages me, so avoid them. The Depth Grip. So the grips are basically arms that launches themselves towards a direction of weight they're facing, and the boss will also do kind of like a line force AoE marker. Just avoid them, but you want to mainly focus on the arms. Stay to a position where the arms won't hit you. So with these manholes, make sure you stand on top of them if they're bubbling, and you can completely skip that mechanic. If you do not, you're going to spawn ads. Seabed Ceremony for a two-sided water beds. Now with these arms, make sure you are basically in a location where the arms won't hit you. So there's going to be a spot here where there's no arm, like you can see here. Stand here, and then run towards the other side, like where my party members are going, or you can just completely skip it and run to the right side after the first arm takes off and does his attack animation. Another Tank Buster. So here is the section. Arms will also appear behind the manholes. Just make sure where I'm standing right now, I'm pretty safe. There's no need for me to move, but I did panic a bit here, and at least I did not get hit by the arm on the right side, but I did spawn one more ad than I shouldn't have. So a stack mechanic, Flying Fount. So make sure you kill the ads, as when they are tethered to the boss takes no damage. Just focus ads. Here is a simple command current, avoid telegraphs. And by this far, you've seen pretty much all the telegraphs, so it's just a repetition until the boss is dead. Seabed into a Depth Grip, so it's pretty much a redo from the beginning. Here I tried to be a smartass, and I should have just stood there, but I tried to move to the right side, not knowing that the arm on the left would have just completely missed me. Mistakes were made. Another Bone Breaker, Tank Buster. He does quite a bit of damage, but it's kind of minuscule, as his auto attacks are cancelled by regen. Seabed Ceremony, so it's pretty much stuff that you've already seen. Here I actually run with the rest of my party members. So we're going to go forward. We're going to stop, we're going to do a bit of DPS here, and then we'll run with the rest of the party members to just kind of run away from the arms as they do their attack animation. So that's typically what you should be doing. Another Tank Buster. And another Seabed Ceremony into the final act of the boss. The Death Grip. And now I should move to the left side as the boss basically dies right before that final telegraph hits. Hello world, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe here. You can also donate if you're interested in supporting the channel. There's some more content for you to watch on the right side. If you're interested in joining my FC, the Tempest Talons, the info is in the top left. I'm mostly taking invites from my YouTube channel subs. And as always, y'all take care and good luck out there.